Ladies and gentlemen, the day has finally arrived. Many of you have been requesting it in the comments.
Get Hank to 1,000 likes. Hank needs that 5090.
I think Hank is ready to handle a 5090.
Give Hank 600th like. Hank needs to get that 5090. Buy a 5090 from Facebook Marketplace.
Hank is a man of the people, so he got an RTX 5090 and is building his second dream gaming PC in less than a year, pairing it with the 9950 X3D. Yes, I know he needs help, mate, but trust me, wait until the end of the video because you'll see that with this newfound power, he is now able to get 100 frames per second in Fortnite Ultra settings in 4K and get consistent victory royales, mate. In other very exciting news, make sure you stick around to the end, mate, because now that Hank owns his dream gaming PC and a 5090 laptop, he has nothing left to buy, so we are going to announce a future PC giveaway where you can win the ultimate gaming rig built by the Glizzy.
That's what I'm talking about.
But in order for Hank to be able to afford to give away a gaming PC, I am going to need you to like this video and spam comments saying hello to Hank in the chat and letting us know what your current gaming PC looks like. Now, you're probably all sitting there screaming, Weenie Man, how on earth did this stinky sausage get the funds to purchase this monstrosity, and doesn't he already own a dream gaming PC? Well, my friends, let me take you back to where it all began.
In the beginning.
Many years ago, Hank scored his best deal ever getting this Gigabyte Aero all-white RTX 4090 for an incredible $1,200 back when people were panic selling them in the lead up to the drop of the RTX 5090. And just look at this thing, mate. A stunning masterpiece, a very chunky 3-fan design, but aesthetically one of the best GPUs ever made in my opinion. Hank threw this fat boy into his dream gaming PC sporting this beautiful Sama PC case with curved glass design and rocking 13 Infinity fans, powered by the Ryzen 7 9800 X3D and 64 gigabytes of RAM. At the time, Hank paid around $3,000 dues for this bad boy, but it was worth it because it helped him grow his YouTube channel from 500 subscribers in January of 2025 to 69 subscribers 7 months later. The double sexy time number. What a legend.
Nice.
It was also his first ever YouTube video that hit 10,000 views, mate. He was so proud. But all good things must come to an end. About 2 months ago, we were seeing RTX 4090s on sale for $3,000, mate. And we also already owned an RTX 5080 that we got for its MSRP of $999, so it was crazy to have both of these things. So we made the tough decision to list it for $2,100 to test the market, and someone purchased it in 1 day. He lived 2 hours away, caught a bus down, met me at the local police station, inspected it for around 20 minutes before he handed me a fat stack of cash. After that, he gave me the deuces, hopped back on the bus, never to be seen again. No review or anything, and he said he was using it for AI. Good luck building the Terminator, mate. So with that sale, we basically owned an RTX 4090 for 1 year and got paid $900 of profit with it when we were done. Yes! Literally Hank's best flip ever, and he didn't have to do anything. Good job, little slinker. After this sale, we got the dream gaming rig and we replaced the RTX 4090 with a 9070 XT 16GB. Used it for a little while and we loved it, but we sold it to a man in a bundle with this black 9060 XT PC. We did a video on this bad boy a while ago and the link is down below. He was buying it for his 12 and 15-year-old son and asked Hank to put an LCD AIO on it. He was a massive Eagles fan, so we threw the GOAT Jalen Hurts onto the screen for him, and just like that, Hank's dream PC was officially gone. But with the support of 6,969 of you watching his YouTube channels, his dreams became much bigger. So we started this YouTube journey in January of 2025, and here we are in the beginning of August, and Hank has been using his SimRig PC to edit our videos. It was going great. If you aren't familiar with this PC, we built it on our channel and did a video. The link is down below if you want to see it. It was rocking the RTX 5080 and a 9800 X3D in this beautiful Okinos case. But every single video Hank made, he was bombarded with comments demanding we purchase an RTX 5090. We responded to these comments by starting off one of our videos with this message.
Flashback.
Let's up the ante though. If this video gets 1,000 likes, I will buy him a 5090. Yes, that's right. I am doing it for him. Not me. I hate those things. I don't want a 5090. It's, yeah, it's totally for him.
Liar!
End of flashback.
And that video hit 1,000 likes. We were so screwed. Hank is a man of the people though, so he stalked Facebook Marketplace for a while to make good on his promise, messaged a few buyers, and he was ready to pull the trigger, but then his prayers were finally answered. Someone recognized him on Facebook and reached out saying he was able to get a card from Best Buy for MSRP ordered to our house and just to send him the cash after the card arrived. At first, we thought we were being scammed so that way this guy could get his address and come and steal Hank and Frank from us. But we took his word for it and bam! Hank now owns an RTX 5090, which was basically paid for by the sale of his RTX 4090, mate. Incredible result. So here she is in all of her glory. Look at this unusual box, mate, but let's open her up and my lord, she is beautiful. We desperately wanted a Founders Edition card. I think they are by far the best looking GPUs on the market, and the resale value down the line will likely be much better with the Founders Edition card compared to the other ones. It is a 2-slot card compared to our RTX 4090's 3-slot, so it is very skinny, and here comes Hank to do a mandatory sniff test. Good lord, mate, he just put his mucus all over it. You cannot be serious, son. And there's hair on the box. We are so cooked, mate. Here is the other side of the card. It's absolutely stunning. We are in love. The X part lights up with a white ARGB strip, and the material feels very premium. I mean, you'd hope so for 2,000 bucks, mate. We've definitely been ripped off here, but let me spoil my son. A little side profile action, and you can see compared to the other GPUs, this bad girl is on Ozempic because she is very skinny. This is truly what dreams are made of, mate. Hank is in heaven. Now here she is next to our sim rig. If you're wondering where the RTX 5080 went, we actually threw it in this beast of a PC containing the 9800 X3D and inside the Montec King 95 PC case. We built this a couple of weeks ago alongside this stunning GTX 1080 rig. It was a wild video and the link is down below if you want to watch it after this video, but we successfully sold this bad boy on Jawa.gg. We built it for just under 2,000 US bucks, and after fees and taxes got paid just over $2,300, so a cheeky $300 profit, which we will definitely need later in this video, and you'll see why, mate. We spent so much money on our new PC. God, what is wrong with us? Before we build Hank's new dream gaming PC, we are throwing it into our old sim rig to 1, make sure it posts, and 2, making sure it has all of its ROPs. Now you're probably sitting there asking, what is a ROP, mate? Well, it stands for Render Output Units. I had no idea what it is, but there was a massive scandal back a couple of months ago. A ton of RTX 5090 and 5080 cards were sent out that were missing some of their ROPs, and this severely limited their performance. We were actually one of the unlucky individuals that got an RTX 5080 that was missing ROPs, and we had to return it to Micro Center, mate. It was a terrible time for us, and the link to that video is also down below. But we've moved on for that disaster. We've got our RTX 5090 into the machine. She is looking beautiful. We are getting RGB on the GeForce RTX logo, and we've got the 600 watt PCIe connector plugged in. We are using GPU Z to make sure it has its ROPs. It should have 176, and there she is, mate. She's got all of them. Looking great. Thank goodness. We can now send the money to this dude. Thanks for doing that, mate. We owe him our life. So here we are, mate. Most regular people would have one dream gaming PC built for them in their life, and it's been less than 1 year, and Hank is already onto his second one. He is one spoiled little sausage. As much as we love this Okinos case, Hank wants to go with a different aesthetic, but we love the motherboard in there. It's the MSI X870E Mag Tomahawk that we scored open box from Micro Center for 240 bucks, mate. Hell of a deal. So we are going to take her out of this case, swap out the cooler and CPU onto a new motherboard, and flip that bad boy to help us pay for the other nonsense that we purchased. So we've just ripped the motherboard out of the PC case. We are going to unscrew the cooler, chuck it off, and give it a wipe down and reveal the beautiful 9800 X3D. Now this is the best pure gaming chip on the market, but it's not that good for productivity, and we mainly use our rig for content creation. So it's time to waste even more money and upgrade this sucker to the best productivity and gaming CPU on the market, the Ryzen 9 9950 X3D, mate. 16 cores and 32 threads compared to the 9800's 8 cores and 16 threads, so much better for productivity. But it also comes with a staggering 128 megabytes of L3 cache, which when translated to English means insane gaming performance, and you would hope so because this sucker cost us 566 US freedom dollars open box from Micro Center, down from $669. But between flipping the old Dream gaming PC and flipping this new sim rig, we should be able to cover the cost, and it'll be worth it to be able to render our video 1 minute faster than before. And before you roast Hank down in the comments, yes, we are aware that we are getting ripped off, mate. The RTX 5080 9800X 3D PC that we had was beautiful for content creation and gaming, but we are a sucker, mate. And Hank is the most spoiled glizzy in the world, so he needs the best of the best, and we are gonna give it to him. Time to build our replacement board out. We went with the B650E Asus Tough Gaming motherboard that we got from Micro Center refurbished for 109 spankers. Hank is slowly going to place the 9800X 3D into the CPU socket, making sure he doesn't bend any pins. Then he is throwing this 64 gigabytes of CL30 RAM from G-Skill onto the board. We actually ended up putting this in our PC and putting an RGB Team Group 64 gigabyte kit on this because I didn't want to use any RGB RAM on my build, so if you see it switched out later, don't yell at Hank, mate. It's not his fault. Then, of course, Hank is going with the old reliable 1TB M.2 from Kingston, which he scored for an incredible $44 off Amazon open box and got about 20 of them.
Very nice.
And last but not least, the little X marks the spot with some thermal paste. The Thermalright Assassin 120 with digital display is going on this bad boy. We put the white version on in our previous video if you want to go check it out, and boom, baby. Here she is right here outside the case next to the proud builder Hank. He's going to yeet this bad boy into the PC case, but you don't want to see that, mate. Time to get back to Hank's dream PC.
Flashback.
Holy moly, mate, look at this thing. In my eyes, this is perfect. The gold trim of the legs matched with the buttons, GPU and LCD screen mixed with the wood accents and the orange fans. Mate, I'm throwing out my old dream gaming PC and building one of these. Mark my words, I absolutely adore this thing.
End of flashback.
That video I showed was around 2 months ago, and well, Hank loved the wood and gold accent so much that we indeed went with the larger Fractal North PC case, mate. And just look at it in the advertisements, pure bliss, but there was a huge problem. No ARGB and no infinity. So I went and told Hank that there would be no infinity or ARGB, and just look at his face, mate. How can we not make his dream come true? So when we first plopped the case onto the desk, he looked disappointed, but taking the glass side panel off, and infinity!
Give me a hell yeah!
Look how excited he is. We were still waiting for the exhaust fan to come in, but these babies are Asia Horse Cosmic fans. These are $45 for a pack of 3 off Amazon, and the reason we went with these and not the cheaper pack of 3 for $15 that we usually recommend is because this PC case is very strange. There is only room to mount 2 fans down the bottom. If you look at our previous Fractal North video, there's only room to mount 1 fan, and it looked very strange. People in the comments were freaking out. So we needed to be able to physically chain the fans together and have no cables, so we settled with these 3 bad girls. As I said, $45 for a pack of 3, and they're not bad for the cableless ones that you can connect together. And to finish out the case, mate, we've got the old reliable Thermalright AAO on it, but stick around to the end, mate, because Hank saw this and threw a tantrum because he wanted something a bit more baller, and because this is his dream PC, we decided, all right, little weenie, we'll give it to you.
Thank you so much!
And the entire crew was all together. The dream motherboard, dream PC case, dream RTX 5090, and the dream hot dog, mate. I actually have no idea where Frank is. Hank sometimes hides him from us, but you snooze, you lose, buddy. You are not included in this video. No! We are yeeting our X870E motherboard into the case, and while this is just a standard ATX case, it has a huge amount of room on the inside. It's a dream to build in other than having to mount those fans at the bottom. It originally does come with a fan hub, but as I mentioned before, it doesn't have ARGB, so we threw our own ARGB fan hub in. Link is down below if you want to buy it. It's cheap and it works very well and comes with a remote control. Next up, we are unleashing all of this TF7 thermal paste that came with the AAO. You're probably wondering why we didn't go with air cooling, since we always say how much we love it, but we are constantly adding and removing different GPUs, M.2 storage, and other parts into the case, so it's easier to work around with a small AIO in there. But please don't get me wrong, mate. I am still team air cooling. Please believe me.
Nope.
So now is the moment you've all been waiting for. Double insertion of the GPU. But mate, what is this GPU on the right? Where are my manners? Let me introduce you to one of the best Facebook market deals we've ever found. Basically a brand new RTX 5070 Ti still in the box for an out of this world $669. 675 US clamshells. The cheapest 5070 Ti I can find near me right now is brand new and costs $800 before tax, so this was an insane deal. I basically told him I wanted him to send the proof of purchase because it was so cheap, but we pulled up to CVS and got it off him and she was looking great. Comparing it to the Founders Edition 5090, it's the same size, mate, probably slightly larger if anything, which is incredible. Throwing Hank into the mix and it's about 6/10 the size of our Glizzy. The 5070 Ti is a great card if you can find it for under MSRP. It's slightly better than the 9070 XT, but both are pretty tough to find for a good price. But before we throw these lovely fellas in, we have been working on getting Hank's manners better, so sir, please give me 2 firm handshakes before we make your dream PC come true.
Hello, him.
Lovely stuff, mate. Find the top PCIe slot, let the cards embrace one last time, then yeet those suckers in with no regard for the fact that they are worth $3,000 combined, and throwing them in with the case standing up is the most dangerous thing you can possibly do.
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Hahn, I am a surgeon!
Mate, at this stage, we might as well end the double insertion era of this channel because it's just getting too easy for us. Both of these naughty girls require a PCIe 5600 watt cable. The PSU in our dream gaming PC already came with one, so we are throwing it right in despite the fact that it will likely catch on fire and explode. Thanks, Jensen. The other card has an adapter, mate, so we are just throwing in and connecting 2 A pins that are found just below it. And here we go, mate. This is proof that dreams do come true, even for wiener dogs. He's sitting on top of his dream gaming PC, and we've got this PC that he's built sitting right next to him, and he's about to flip this bad boy to help fund his dream. But as we always say on this channel, there's nothing to it but to do it. Let's turn it on. And my God, mate, look at these things. Once again, for the 50th video in a row, these are the best PCs we have ever built by far. Hey, get your stinky ass off your dream PC. We have to sell this other bad boy first before you get to play with it. So overall, Hank cooked on this sucker of a PC. A $675 5070 Ti in this beautiful case with 9 ARGB fans, a sexy little ARGB strip on this beautiful Ocanos case, and the LCD screen on the air cooler, mate. The weenie is truly in his bag. All up, he built this monolithic structure for 1,556 United States hamburgers, which to me seems like a great deal, and he actually undercut our previous 5070 Ti PC that we built many videos ago by quite a lot. Looking on Jawa GG, and there is nothing under $2,200.
Liar!
So we were very happy with this, but it wasn't enough for Hank to build his dream PC, mate. Oh no, 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 no. He wanted someone else's dream to come true for a good price, so he listed it on Facebook Marketplace for $17.99, drive away, no more to pay. And after about a week, this nice dude came and took it from us, loved the rig, and gave Hank a 5-star review and left us with $243 in profit, mate. What a deal! So with that, mate, Hank's dream gaming PC and sim rig are all gone. It is truly an end of an era, but it's time to go on to something even better. Here is our RTX 5090 9950 X3D PC in all her wooden and golden glory. For whatever reason, a black PC with wood accents in orange just looks incredible, and I actually really like the design of these Age of Horse fans as well, mate. For $45, given that these fans are cableless, it's not a bad deal, but if we could have just mounted the 3 fans properly down below, we would have just gone with the $5 Dark Rock Infinity fans that we're always plugging, mate, so I've linked them as well. Also, we currently don't have cable extensions on this bad boy. We're just going with what came with the PSU, mate, and I'm not gonna lie, it's looking pretty diabolical, mate. These cables are uglier than yo mama. But anyway, so there she is, mate, and looking at it now, I feel kind of empty. I don't think we balled out enough. First of all, the fans on the front of the case are not ARGB and definitely are not Infinity, mate. Now, that is by design because this is more of a feature PC with the wood accents. But, mate, you know us. We are a 30-year-old virgin, and Hank is a 5-year-old virgin who needs rainbow ARGB puke beamed into his eyes 24/7. Plus, while we do love this Thermalright AIO for flipping, and don't get me wrong, it does look good. The problem I have, though, is that these videos take about 100 hours to edit every single week, mate. And I need a reminder of what I'm doing this for, mate. My lovely little child here, so we need an LCD screen on an AIO stat, and we want a ball till we fall. And finally, last but not least, I am sick of having this white wall behind us. If you look at our previous videos, it's getting scuffed up like crazy and doesn't contrast well with some of the footage. So before we introduce the upgrades we did to the PC, I pose a question to you. Got wood? What? Because we do now, mate. Look at this thing. We've installed a wooden feature wall behind us, mate. These acoustic soundboards were about $79 for a pack of 2 off Amazon. We had to get about 6 of them, so pretty expensive, mate. But let me know down below if it looks good or if it looks trash. I'm gonna have a look at how the next few videos look with this behind me, and if I don't like it, we'll go with something else. But give me recommendations down below if you think it looks like absolute garbage.
What the dog doing?
But enough about my walls, mate. Time to transform this into Hank's true gaming PC with a little click of the fingers, and boom, baby! Starting off, we have the panoramic 360 AMOLED AIO with Hank smiling on the front and looking cute on the side from Trix. We got absolutely destroyed on the price of this, mate. $350, but it's worth it having Hank smiling at me while I edit his dumb videos. It is a super high quality 2K image and very easy to install. And if that's not virgin enough, mate, we threw 320mm Infinity fans onto the front of the case. Simply lovely, mate. 10 total Infinity fans in the case. Not as good as the 13 from last week, but little Hanky on the screen makes up for that. So now we get to the price, mate. Obviously, we reused our motherboard, M.2's power supply, etc. But if we were to price out all of the parts, we got this for a diabolical $4,000, mate. An astronomical price for this thing. We definitely didn't need to spend this much money, mate, but we had to celebrate 69 subscribers for our boy Hank, and I think it turned out great. But let me know down below if you're copying this build or if you think we are stupid. All right, Sheilas and fellas, before we jump into the benchmarks, once again, thank you for all the support. My dream was to get to 6969 subscribers, so I've accomplished that, and the Glizzy has accomplished his dream gaming PC. What an episode! We will be starting a series very soon titled Flipping PCs Until We Can Afford to Give One to a Subscriber. It'll probably come out after we do a day in the life of a PC flipping dog. All you need to do to be eligible for the PC giveaway is like every video, comment something down below from here until the series ends, and watch every video all the way through, mate. It'll give our channel a huge push to bigger audiences, hopefully lead us to working with some bigger brands so we can get access to more parts, which will ultimately allow us to do more giveaways and give Hanky Panky some nice and delicious treats. And FYI, mate, Hank is a master hacker, so he can tell if you are watching, liking, and commenting on these trash videos. What? Alright, enough of me begging for likes and comments like a homeless man. Let me know down below if Hank cooked on this PC or if he got cooked. Time to see if we can play Fortnite at 60 frames per second and get a cheeky victory royale. Let's go! Alright, baby, this is what dreams are made of. Benchmarking an RTX 5090 9950X 3D PC with everything turned up balls to the wall. I've linked proper benchmarks down below, done by professionals if you're interested in seeing it done properly. We are just a maniac full sending games at ultra 4K graphics with ray tracing cranked and no upscaling to see how far we can push this naughty girl. Starting with our worst game, Call of Duty, we suck some serious donkey meat at this game, but the card at extreme settings with no upscaling handles it with ease. Over 130 frames per second averages with great 1% lows, smoother than the backside of a pillow, but as bad as I am at this game, I keep getting paired with even worse teammates. I try and take on 3 guys at once here, pause, and get destroyed by all of them. Double pause. And look at my teammates, mate. One has left and the other 2 combined don't even equal my eliminations or damage, and I am absolute cheeks at this game. I can't stand Call of Duty. On to the next one. Now we are trying Doom Eternal for the first time, balls to the wall, everything cranked, no upscaling, ray tracing set through the roof, and we are getting a paltry 45 frames per second average. It felt good though and looked amazing. For these single player games, I always go for aesthetics over FPS, but mate, I have no idea what I'm doing in this. I just know it looks good and feels great, but when I turn MSI Afterburner on, the FPS values look terrible. Speaking of terrible frames per second, mate, we are now playing the game that will bring any rig to its knees, Microsoft Flight Simulator 2024. We are taking off from New York Airport, all aboard the Weenie Express, mate, and we are getting an average of 42 frames per second. Now that sounds terrible, but we have everything cranked to ultra, 4K with TAA upscaling, no DLSS, and mate, we used to be addicted to Microsoft Flight Simulator. We would do a flight a day, and to me, this feels even better than when we played this on our 4090 rig with the 9800X3D. Look at the smoothness flying over New York City. Pretty incredible. If you're a flight sim person, you know how bad the stutters can be. But this is the smoothest experience I've ever had with this game. Jolly good time, mate. Next up, the finals, and this is slowly becoming one of my favorite games, and we have everything turned all the way up to 11. No upscaling, ray tracing on high, graphics on the highest. And this rig handled the finals greatly. Well over 110 frames per second. 1% lows may as well have been 110, mate, because no stutters whatsoever. And I got paired up with a couple of demons that hadn't seen the sun in 1 month because we were kicking ass and taking names. Just demolishing these other scrubs. We get both cash outs and win in less than 10 minutes. I finished the game with most eliminations. Does this justify spending 2K on a GPU? Absolutely not, mate. Jensen has ripped the soul out of us and we will be homeless in a matter of weeks, but it's worth it when we get a cheeky W in the finals. Moving on to Marvel Rivals, mate, and you saw us get the MVP with the 2080 Super the other week at 4K, so if we can't get it at 4K maxed out settings, no DLSS, no frame gen, full shadows on the 5090, well then, mate, we may as well throw this rig in the garbage. And speaking of garbage, mate, I start off the game 0-6 and our team has 5 elimination combined, while one dude on the other team has 16 eliminations by himself, so there's no way I get the MVP, right? Nope. Right? Wrong. We are the GOAT and I am playing as Hank's Waifu Wanda and we start taking souls and clapping every cheek possible. The game ran great, 80 frames per second, 1% lows were amazing, as smooth as a bowling ball, and more importantly, we turned this game around. Hank could not be stopped and we make a LeBron-esque comeback down 3-1 in the NBA Finals to not only beat these suckers, but I somehow get the MVP with 17 eliminations and 10k damage. Hank definitely robbed a few people in the server of the MVP, but it is what it is, mate. Let the long boy have this one. He just spent 4k on a PC to get 80 frames per second, for God's sake. But now is the moment you've all been waiting for, ladies and gentlemen. Ball to the wall Fortnite, everything cranked to the max, TAA upscaling, ray tracing on. These graphic settings would take the life of a Victorian era child. But guess what? Our PC is handling it well. Kinda. Well, actually, not really. It's at an astonishing 60 frames per second. You heard me right, 60 frames per second. I mean, it looks great. Look at the water as we slide across here and go take out a banana from behind. You can actually see the shadows perfectly. But yeah, 60 frames per second. This is crazy. What has my life become, paying 4,000 buccarinos for 60 frames per second Fortnite? If we turn it to 4K performance mode, so everything low, DLSS set to performance, but with epic view distance on DirectX 12, we are getting close to 300 frames per second, mate. But 60 FPS, 300 FPS, it don't matter because we just picked up our 20th elimination like it's nothing. It's now down to a 4-man fight for the ages. All 3 of these dudes end up on the other side of this river, and I'm just sitting here with a gold DMR and 2 pictures of Hank on my AAO. Life is good. I keep blasting and blasting and blasting and blasting until eventually we hit this fella in the noggin and boom, baby! We just spent Hank's college tuition on a PC to beat a bunch of 10-year-old bots running the game at 60 frames per second on 4K ultra graphics, everything balls to the wall. No wonder my dad left me when I was 3 years old, mate. We are such a disappointment. Anyway, get out of here, mate. Me and the weenie love ya. Goodbye.